Shalom. First and foremost, we'll say Kalayim Yahweh Shema Shema Kakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who do rule and teach well. And his brothers upon you, check it in. The ones you'll be edifying to the full elect. Swing it over second Edges chapter 14, instead of verse 13. We'll go on down. Okay. Now therefore, so they house in order, reprove thy people, cover such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Alright, so Archangel Uriel, speaking Esdras back then. However, it's really meant for our times now, okay? Because it's been constant times where Archangel Uriel is broken down to Esdras. Like, I know Ezra asked, like, hey, am I gonna be saved? Roughly paraphrasing it. And the Archangel Uriel pretty much said that. That's something that I can tell you, right? But Ezra did say, woe is me, what should I do in these times, right? So, he's around in these times. We don't know who he is, but he's around. All right, so if I set the house in order and reprove thy people, right? Reprove means to show the sharp disapproval of something, okay? So, if the scripture says open rebuke is better than secret love. So that's why we're out here, right? To tell our people, reprove our people, right? That's all we all got in here, right? We're following, Christianity, Catholicism or Islam, one of these different things out here, right? We were in the world, right? And, to the Lord, putting the Rakat Kodash on us, right? And having us, learn from the elders and apostles on down, a great millstone, right? Or, like-minded individual, okay? Who follow the same doctrine, right? That's how we come into this thing, okay? And you start to realize, like, man, the hell am I believing in this shit for? This stuff that was taught was wrong, right? You got to come into this thing like a newborn baby, So cover such of them as be in trouble, right? Talking about our people, right? We're the ones under the curses, okay? We're the ones who have to go to our enemies for one of all things, right? We got to work these different jobs and whatever, and whatever hours we got to do is whatever hours we got to do. And now renounce corruption, right? Corruption, is sin, man. All right, we gotta renounce the corruption, the sins, and stuff of this world, man. Now we're not gonna be perfect, right? But when we do go off, we just pray to the Lord, like, hey, have mercy upon me, right? Because we can't do everything, perfect in a society. All right, we can't even keep the Sabbath perfectly in a society, man. A lot of us got to go to work anyway, right? It's in our tasks and responsibilities when we apply for these jobs that, like, you have to show up to work on time. I mean, you can save your days off and try to take off for different holy days. I try to do that. I try to take off, depending if I can. But sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So we're just gonna get let's go to the point. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28. We'll go to the point. 28:12. To him he said, this is the rest whereas you may cause the weary to rest, and this is refreshing. I might start up earlier. 9. Whom shall I teach? Okay. Isaiah 28:9. Whom shall I teach knowledge? Whom shall you make to understand doctrine? Then thou wean from the milk and drunk from the breast, right? The milk of the easier scriptures, and when you go to other scriptures, the meat, which is you have further understanding. Okay, so you have to come into this thing like a newborn baby, and like Yahushua broke down, you have to be born again. So you pretty much got to learn that like everything that you were taught in the world is wrong, man. So you got to come down, and be very humble. Okay, you have to be very humble. You got to learn that, hey, like, What? The name God is just a title, right? He has a name. His name is Yahweh, right? His son's name is not Jesus. There was no J back then, right? It's not no Iesus, right? And that this, Jesus Christ, the so-called, white Jesus these people following really goes back to Serapis Christos, right? Which is like, what was it, one of the sons of Ptolemy or something? And one of Ptolemy's sons, right? That, they were worshiping back in Egypt. Like, what? Right? You know, we thought, oh, we're just black Hispanics and Native Americans. We're this, we're that. We're Dominican, we're Black American, we're this or that. But no, you have a tribe that you go back to, right? That we're not just people from the island. They're not people from, just America. That you just not know African or nothing like that. You go back to these tribes, man, right? Say, you know. For precept must be upon precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's how you break down the scriptures. You can't just be in like one chapter and just like stay in that one chapter. You're not gonna understand what you're reading. You have to go from one chapter, one book to another book. Maybe you stay in the one book and you can go break down precept with another precept from. So say you're in like one book, like one chapter in Isaiah will precept to another chapter in Isaiah, right? And you can do things like that, right? Like for example, I know like Isaiah 13. Maybe it's Isaiah 13. It goes into like the best of destruction. Uh, you know, I think Isaiah 13 also goes to like the doleful creatures, but you can take that one and precept that one with what was it? I think Isaiah 24. It might be. You can check me on that one. Maybe Isaiah 24 or 28. As I want to go again. Let's see here. But you have to go precept. Yeah, 24. Right. Behold, the earth maketh the earth way empty, and make it a waste, and turn it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants. And it should be as with the people, so with the priest, as the servant, so with the master, as with the maid, so with the servant, as with the buyer, so with the lender, so with the seller, the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord has spoken his word. Right? And this is talking about America. Okay? Utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. Right? Because no other part of the world is going to be utterly emptied and spoiled. Okay? Right? It's only going to be America. It's going to be like a desert. It's going to be completely destroyed. Okay? Gone. All right? So yeah. 11, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Right? Talking about English or sometimes Spanish. Right? Speaking with these other languages. Right? So, but this truth is only for our people. Right? These heathen, we're gonna force them to follow this truth. Right? If we force to follow our ways. Right? But for right now, we tell the heathen of their destruction. Right? And salvation is not for them. Okay? If you're here in America when this time comes down, this place will be your grave. Right? When they hear that, they're just like, ooh. They don't really, they don't care, bro. Some of them might buck up or whatever. I've seen that, people buck up. I saw that at the midweek camp. And when I didn't join the camp yet, and I was on the other side. People buck up. To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith you may cause the weary to rest, and this is refreshing, yet they would not hear. All right, so yeah, this truth is your rest. This is how you rest. All right, the weary, or the weary. All right, as it says in Daniel 7, they shall wear out the saints of the Most High, talking about America. And they have worn us out. They wore us out. Wore people out with slavery and bondage. All right, we're taking our people down. Right, northern and southern kingdom here. Right, they continue to wear us out. these jobs, prices of even the fucking prices of food, bro. The prices of groceries, even. Right? They wear us out, man. You know, without even make a living in the society. You just fucking working. Right? Maybe have a couple hours of sleep and then you wake up again. It's like, oh shit, I gotta go to work again. Right? And then maybe have 2 days off, on the weekends. If that, maybe you can't make ends meet with your job. You gotta work a second job over the weekend. So now it's just like you're working 7 days a week, putting in 50, 60 hours of fucking week pretty much. Right? It's like that, it's brutal. So Isaiah 28, that was that one. Isaiah 25. So we can go to second Esdras. All right, so second Esdras 14 and 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, right? And this is gonna be the last one I get into. Right, so let go of the mortal thoughts, thoughts of this world. You know, trying to build a career and all this stuff. I mean, make money and whatever, right? But don't let that be. Seek ye first the kingdom, right? I'll say it like that, right? As the scripture says. Right? Cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, right? You can't have that weak nature on you, especially not now. We're too close to the end, right? This chip is gonna be mandatory soon, right? It's gonna be pushed out here first, right? People are gonna go ahead and get it. But eventually, it's gonna be made mandatory, and you can't have a weak nature. Just say, man, you know what? Fuck it, man. Like fuck everything. Fuck the food. Fuck the society. Fuck having a job. Fuck all this shit. I don't care, right? And if they say, hey, you know, we gonna put you to death, or we're gonna take you away. Once you take this thing, then you gotta deal with that, man. And you gotta pray to the Lord. You have that spirit be upon you, right? If you be the hopeful luck, you gotta pray, man. Like, please, 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 let me have that spirit. Like, tell these devils no, right? So now let that be that. Lord, edify, say shalom.